Hello, everyone. Welcome to Inner Life 101. Here we have another video concerning carbonation uh, under the management of Eligio Bishop, the aka Nature Boy, and True. They call him True. Um, Apparently, when True left, when they left Panama, True was considered one of the leaders of carbonation. So he got sent home separately from, all the leaders got expedited out of Panama immediately, pretty much. So, anyways, here we have a video where, and it's not going to be very long, where Eligio gets upset after this man on the screen started to talk about money, basically, and what he feel that they should be doing as a tribe. Um, so let's hear that and let's see how Eligio reacts to it. It shows that Eligio is really butthurt about having to come back. So let's see.
Depressed when they go to the grocery store and they spend $30 on some organic fruit, but when they go buy, like I'm speaking from personal experience, I had an 82-inch TV. I wasn't depressed when I went and bought that TV because I was putting my focus in on things that were not gonna make me a better person. When I went and bought the season tickets to the Bulls, Chicago Bulls basketball, that was not feeding my soul. And we need to use, like you said, use Babylon. Yes, if you got a job, go to work. You should have, like you guys are doing, a tribe. You should have a tribe of people all in one house, all going to work, but living in one house. Living in one house that's dirt cheap, as cheap as possible, and then stack all your money up and then bounce together. You need to use Babylon. Go to Babylon, get that money, but then don't go, get the $300 phone bill and then the HBO package and the TVs and the brand new car lease and all that stuff that's going to be holding you back. Because in the Bible it says the borrower is slave to the lender. So when you go get in debt to something, then you can't fear yourself as you're in fear that you can't pay those payments, but you got to set yourself free from that. Putting your resources together and building a tribe and getting out. So they want to make fun of you guys for being back in Babylon, like Chief was saying. They're the reason, maybe not them specifically, but that whole mentality behind that is the reason you guys are back. Because you guys had to tell people, let's have a house full of people that go to work. We will not ever work for anything. Our job here on this planet is to proclaim the kingdom of God. Is to speak, eat, shit, sleep this message. That's all we do is eat, sleep, shit this message. That's all our job is. The universe will provide the rest. But you have to understand.
Sorry, guys. I just want to say, what message? Eat, sleep, I'll say drink, melanin. Our message is to eat, sleep, and drink astrology. Eat, sleep, and drink quantum physics. Eat, sleep, and drink. Now, what was that? 3 of them? What's the other 2? I can't even remember what the other 2 was. I would have failed that test that Joy created. That quiz. This is what you're supposed to eat, sleep, and drink. And then with all of those so-called five sciences that you're supposed to eat, sleep, and drink all together, of course, um, you throw in the Bible and you throw in a bit of other religion and you throw in, you know, what's that called? Epigenetics. You throw in whatever you can, and then you throw in the analogy of, being in nature and doing as nature does, those kind of things. So, what is there you supposed to be eating, sleeping, and drinking? He's able to do that because it's his idea. It comes to his mind. He's the one that sat there and studied all of that stuff. So, or he at least Googled it, and he obviously have a mind to where he can remember that stuff. So, what is there to eat, drink, and sleep except know thyself? Now, that's another one of his studies or his teaching that he does, but he doesn't do it himself. He doesn't follow it himself. He doesn't eat, sleep, and drink it. If he was to eat, sleep, and drink it, I know for a fact that most of that stuff with astrology and all of that will fall to the wayside because it conflicts with know thyself. Okay, because you can't use a crutch to get to know yourself. I was listening to someone's live today, and they were talking about how their chart was saying something about them. Um, I don't know, I forgot, but whatever it was, the chart was the same for everybody. They said, "Oh, you tend to do the oh, that's what it was. You tend to receive something from other people and then you project it back to them. Everyone does that. That's why you have the know thyself teaching so you know when you're projecting, okay? And you're putting things off on other people that I mean that is within you. You don't always know you're doing that. That's why you need to know yourself so you know you're doing that. If you're going to do that and this is your debilitation and your generational curse, you'll never be able to get rid of it. You'll never be able to not get rid of it. I don't like that. But you'll never be able to understand it out of existence. Anyways, let's hear more.
Are conditioned and trained to think that they have to do something like go to Babylon to make money. But I've been surviving doing this for 5 years and I haven't worked the job. The only job that I work is the kingdom of God.
There are people that actually go every day and panhandle on the street and don't work a job. Um, there has been in the last few years, there's been a boom of gypsies coming from other countries, Romania and different countries in that area, uh, where they were basically being persecuted there, and they ran them out of those countries or cities or whatever, and they came here and they're trying to live here. And I do not know many of them. I've seen a lot of them run around, and basically you never see them working. They never it's very rare for them to work. You see them work, they'll work 1 day or 2 days and then they're back home again. So they survive without working. They go out and panhandle every day. There are people that get on the side of the sidewalk, homeless people that go out and panhandle every day and have everything they need. That they have stories of people who are very successful panhandling every day and getting what their needs are and telling you they don't have any money. They keep coming back out there panhandling and just piling up the money. So, Eligio, anyone can make money in America and don't have to work. You just have to know how to play the system and play other people, which is what you do very well.
It's to proclaim the kingdom of God, point blank, period.
And you're not getting that money because you're proclaiming the kingdom of God. You're getting that money because you're manipulating people and you're manipulating the system of donations, the system of Cash App, the system of PayPal.
Now, moving forward, let me tell you something. We're not going to sit here and act like we didn't watch our people drag us back into the barrel. You're not going to sit here and act like the crab in the barrel effect did not take place with carbonation. You seen where we was at. We was all the way in the jungle. We had the moon and the stars. We had the sun. We had the river. We had the trees. That's all that mattered to us. We was in the jungle. It was our own people that drug us back into the barrel because they're crabs.
Okay. I love to hear Fundi Fee speak about this. Number one, Eligio does not study nature. That's the bad part about it. He talks about nature all the time. He talks about all these animals and everything and their behavior, and he's never seen it himself. I remember him talking about how butterflies and caterpillars don't hang out, they don't socialize when they're the same species and they're family. They grow up together. They're birthed out of each other. What are you talking about? So, and that had to be proved where uh actually by Fundi Fia was proven with her monarch how can I say release program that she does. Anyways, he is oh, and she has this thing that she tells us about of the crabs in the barrel and how she says when she was a little girl she used to go and um, go crabbing, as she put it. She go crabbing with her mother, and she said she was charged with the watching the bucket, and she didn't like watching the bucket, and she didn't want to stand there and watch the bucket to keep the crabs in the bucket or something. She just wanted to go. She wanted to go play. Simple as that. So, anyways, but they forced her to sit there, and she said while she was sitting there, she would notice the crabs. She would see what the crabs are doing. And she said she actually watched the crabs try to get out of the bucket. And what they do, she's saying, is that they form a chain and they start pulling each other up. So she said once they form the chain and they have the one on the top, the crab on the top falls over the side of the bucket, but it doesn't let go of the other crabs. So when it falls over, the weight of the crab on the top start pulling the other crabs over. And so Eligio once again is speaking of things that he knows nothing of. If he's a Messiah and all of this greatness and all of this high self and everything, he would you would think that he would even have wisdom enough to know that he really shouldn't be saying things like that when he don't know. You don't know that. How can you even say that pillars, I'm a little country, so I can barely say the word, but how can you even say that they don't hang out together? It makes no sense. It makes no sense. They're birthed out of each other. How can you say that they don't hang out just because you don't see it? You have to go before you decide to even tell anyone that. You should see something about it first. Most people will speak about that when they have already seen it. People don't usually come up and say, oh, butterflies and caterpillars don't hang out together unless and they've seen it themselves. Unless and somehow they went on a field trip or something and they found out that caterpillars and butterflies don't hang out together. You know, anyways, let's hear more.
Now, the only reason why we are here in the States is because of World News and those of such like.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh, world. Uh-oh. All the suches like him. Uh-oh.
GranGran.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh, GranGran. He didn't forget about you guys. He's out here having a good time. Talking about what he liked to do to women and everything, dominating them. But he didn't forget about you guys. He said, y'all got him back here.
All of that, all of our own people did everything they could to destroy what we was building. Our
And what were you building, Eligio? You're not going to talk about the rape culture that you're building over there in another country. You're not going to talk about the prostitution and all of that you want to, how you say, share your women. Take them to Africa, share your women. Take them in another country where they can't call the police. So you can yoke them up anytime you want to. That's what you were building there. But we didn't forget about that. You didn't forget about us, and we didn't forget about you. Oh, I'm not a part of that. That is GranGran and World News. So I can't take credit for that.
own people dragged us back into the barrel, did everything they called the U.S. Embassy. Our own woman betrayed us. Our own people drug us down. And those
Their own women betrayed them because of what? Because you want them to mindlessly come over to you, let you pour your 5 sciences into them and anything else liquid that you can think of, and sit around and do nothing all day and sit there and listen to you all day long and all night until they can get a few hours of sleep.
sit here and act like y'all didn't see this shit.
We saw it. We saw it. We saw it.
Don't sit here and act like now that we're back in the States that we didn't have nothing, we didn't accomplish anything. We accomplished much.
What? Elysia, what did you accomplish? You went 5 years in the so-called jungle. But let me let you tell it.
We overcame our demons after the system and y'all drug us back here.
You overcame your demons? Eligio, all that anger. Listen, look at you now. That's not overcoming demons. You're one of the biggest hateful, angry men I've ever seen. That's one thing that caused me to even watch you. The way you abuse people and use the teaching to do it. So I don't see you overcoming anything. Then he did this thing about him, his transformation. Oh my God, that was just ridiculous. Showing all of his old pictures and everything all the way up to now. And There was no transformation. What's the transformation? What are you trying to get us to see? That you put the gun down? Other than that, I don't see what. Did you wrap your head now? Other than wearing a do-rag? I don't see any transformation. Your mouth is just as dirty, just as nasty. Your actions are just as nasty. You still have schizophrenic ways of where you don't brush your teeth and wash your behind. You still doing the same thing. And then women have to come and take care of you because you can't do it yourself, because you're not mentally healthy enough to do it yourself. So come on, continue to tell us here.
Single-handedly, y'all called the cops on us. Our woman turned on us, took our children. You cannot sit here and say, don't ever sit here and try to act like you didn't watch publicly. These people tear us fucking down.
You should have been torn down. Your women single-handedly taking your children away. You assisted them in that. You gave them reason to want to take those kids away. You're not a good father. You never was. And they would be the worst women on earth and worst mothers on earth to allow you to continue and to play any real part in raising a child from being a little baby to teenage. Simple as that. No one should be subjected to that.
And bring us back into this fucking barrel we're in. I dare you sit on there and say, well, what do you have? Look at you in Babylon. Motherfucker, you sat and watched these crabs drag us down publicly all day long. Everything that they could find, they collected and then went to the U.S. Embassy and called the police on us and got us deported.
Now, I can say one thing about the crabs in the bucket that just came to me. It's just something came. I never seen crabs climbing out of the bucket. But I got a feeling that if there's crabs in a bucket and one of them didn't get out, they didn't uh, get out of the bucket, or they were pulled back in, or they something like that, it's because they didn't grab on. There was something wrong, that they could not connect with the others. And you said yourself that you had to leave, because you had to leave the United States because you were going to kill someone else, or someone was going to kill you. Okay.
They literally drug us back into the barrel. And now that we're in the barrel, they're silent. Have nothing to say.
They're silent because they know you're going to destroy yourself here. You're going to destroy yourself. There's no reason to fight you. You're where we need you to be, because as soon as you decide you want to hurt a woman in public, the police is right there. Well, you got all kinds of men around here coming up on your live and letting you know how they feel about you, and it's not good. So eventually, something's going to change. Something's going to change. And either you're going to get right, I mean, you're going to become, you're going to have that transformation that you hoped you could have, or it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good, because you can't continue to do this. You can't continue to be this disrespectful to people and their loved ones, and their friends and families and all. Anyways, you can't continue to do this, not here in America, and you know it. America don't play. America is the highest crime. It's the criminal capital of the world, and you're right in the middle of it.
They got their goal. That was their goal.
But you see, Eligio, nobody hates you. Nobody hates you. They're disgusted by you. They're disgusted by your behavior, your hatefulness, how you treat people, your lack of empathy, your lack of compassion when it comes down to children, your lack of true love. Those things you assume and you get when you are truly in the know thyself teaching. Once you study yourself, you start, those things come to you. You don't have it for some reason.
The universe moves in mysterious ways. At first, everything that you see that's going on with carbonation is a reflection of what the damage is and the damage that has been done to black people deeply through white supremacy. I do not blame my people. I'm just showing you what the hell's going on. Don't
Sound like blame to me.
sit here and act like, oh, all of a sudden we did something wrong. The only thing we did wrong was reach back to our people and try to give them knowledge of self, and they felt jealous and they wanted to destroy what we had.
No, Legio, that was not jealousy. I'm sorry to let you know. It wasn't jealousy. It was disgust. It was disdain for you twisting knowledge and teachings. It was disgust of you manipulating people, making them believe that you created age-old teachings and somehow you were the one chosen by the Most High to come down and take our young people into the jungle between Capricorn and Cancer and bow down and wait on you. Do whatever you want them to do. It was you that decided. It was our disdain for you deciding that women was someone should be your footstool, someone you should be stepping on and standing on, no matter how much love and compassion that they give you. That was the issue. You made them feel a deep part of them that they most of them hadn't felt before, or most of them hadn't felt in a long time. You created this, young man. Nobody else. You did this. You put yourself on social media and want the world to watch while you tell everyone that you allow your son, you sexually molested your son by letting him play with your penis. That's sexual molestation of a child. You did this. And then all of the disease, uh, admitting to diseases, and then all of a sudden taking them back. And, you did this. This is why you're here. This is why they didn't leave you alone. Not because they hated you. Nobody hates you. They know you're sick. And they need to shut you down because you're abusing other sick people. That's how. That's why you're back.
Clear as fucking day, we are sitting in Babylon and got deported because of your ass.
Very good. Thank you, GranGran. Thank you, world. Hey.
You fucking agents. So now don't act like you don't know that our trolls are agents. They're government agents. You've seen us. We was in the jungle. Free.
You wasn't in the jungle, Eligio. You was in the Airbnb. You wasn't free, Eligio. They were You were packing up when Joy was online telling everyone she wanted to leave. And then you guys in the night, literally in the dark of the night, and pretty much dark in the house, You're in there sneaking around, packing everything up because you weren't free. You had to move. You had to get out of there for some reason. That was before anything happened. Before any police was called or anything, you guys was packing up because you're not free. You needed money. You're constantly begging for money. You're not free. If you're free, you won't need the money. And if you're free, no one can ever come and touch you.
He was doing was proclaiming the kingdom of God online, sending knowledge and the information of self. And you watch our own people in our camp betray.
And the knowledge, we spoke about that already. Your knowledge and your information that you were spreading is abusive. Okay? The knowledge that you're spreading is someone else's. You're lying and saying it's yours. And you're twisting it to manipulate people. You're changing it so that you can stay in the minds of the people that you want to donate to you and people that you want to come over and join you. Simple as that. Thanks, GranGran. Thanks, world. Hey.
You watch them take us down. You watch them take our children. You watch the black woman try to destroy us in every way. You watch black men online that were jealous.
We watch you online make slaves out of black women. That's what we watch. You and this buck-eyed fool make slaves of black women as if we haven't been there before. You're talking about white supremacy, but it's okay for black supremacy. But let me calm down because I know you're mentally ill. You're just sick. You're just a sick man. And you can't see your own sickness. But the knowledge of thyself can teach you. The principles of that teaching you know a lot about. But for some reason, you resist working with it. And that's how I know you're not close to God like you say you are.
Because they couldn't beat me, try to destroy me.
Nobody wants to be you, Eligio. Maybe some guys want to be a part of you, but to actually be you, if they do, something's wrong. Something's wrong with them. If they want to be you, you just think you're something, and you're not. The you, anyways.
Don't act like we achieve anything. Because the greatest thing we achieved was knowledge itself. The greatest thing we achieved, you cannot even see.
But Eligio, where is the knowledge of self? I could see it. I've been in the teaching for, ooh, I can't believe. I'm not even going to say how long I've been in because I age myself. But I can see it. I can see True does not know himself. I can see you don't know yourself. Sure, you might have some insight into some things, that you do, and you think it's okay to go and create an environment where you can abuse people and make them unhappy and curse them and hit them and uh, do all kinds of sexual things to them in order to make them have experiences that they can try to study themselves with. But the universe does that. Who needs you to go and do God's job? God already gives us experiences to learn ourselves, to know ourselves. No, who needs you? Who appointed you? A schizophrenic, I don't know if you're schizophrenic or not, but a mentally ill man who obviously spent some years in an institution, a mental institution, on medication, and he had a control issue, and he is exhibiting schizophrenic behavior, and you are the one that God said is to come and enlighten all the black people of the world. Okay, just your the things that you come up with out of your own mind, portraying it as being wisdom, shows us that it's ill. It's illness. Okay, we know this about you, so let's not act like we don't see that.
With your eyes, you have to have it. If you don't have it, then no matter what you keep going to lose. But guess what? The universe ain't done. Allah is not done his work here. Keep watching. Allah is not done his work here.
Now, wasn't it before it was Jesus wasn't done with this work, but now it's Allah and Joshua and Yahshua and Yahweh and anyways, um, no, God is not done with His work. God will never be done with its work, and we can only pray that you wake up enough so that God can actually help you do that work that you should have done when you first was introduced to this teaching, to the teaching of know thyself. Instead of you running away with the teaching and saying, hey, hey, guys, we call that zeal. Okay, he was very zealous. He got the teaching and he's like, I'm gonna teach everybody. I'm gonna bring the people, and I know that this is for me to bring everybody around me, and I'll never have to work again, and I will heal the sick and heal the maimed, and everybody will be free. But it didn't work out because you didn't work on yourself, Eligio. You didn't work on yourself.
Keep watching. Keep watching. It don't end like this, and I guarantee you, this was only to show you yourself and show you what the conditions that our people were in. We are here to bear a unk of our generational curses to show our people themselves.
And he still wants to let you know that somehow you're cursed, but yet you can free yourself at the same time. You know, curses, the only way, now I was thinking about this. The only way you can be free of a generational curse or any curse, I don't believe in generational curses, because in the know thyself teaching, or the teaching of the truth, or the truth teachings, it teaches you that you are your solution. So if you have something that's a generational curse, what I understand is that when there are curses and spells that are put out on people, you have to know the spell in order to release it, in order to break it. You have to know what that curse was. Okay? If our people were put on under a generational curse when it came down to slavery 400 years ago, 500, 400, 500 years ago, um, well, that's because they said things actually was happening before the 400-year mark. Um, then you would have to know that curse. You would have to know what incarnations and whatever was happened in that curse in order for it to be broken. So I don't believe in that. They gave you that teaching just like they told you about devils and demons and stuff. They created that. Devils and demons are like cartoons. People in ancient times were painting. Artists was painting and making up these things, just like we had cartoons of comic books of Batman and Robin and all of that. They were doing that back then, and what they were doing in the medieval times and everything, they were creating these demons, and even probably before that, maybe in Greece and everything, they were coming up with all these different deities and everything, and creating comic books. Basically, that's all they were doing. I remember um, the devil in America was with a red human form man with a long tail with a arrow at the end of the tail. He had a pitchfork, which was red also, I believe, or maybe it was black, and he had horns in his head or something. But in Africa, I just found out the devil was black in Africa. So, it was created. It was man-made stuff. And you're supposed to be high and you're supposed to know these things. These things supposed to come to you. Anyways, let me stop. Let him finish this out so that we can end this video, everyone.
We are nothing but a reflection. But I guarantee you this, Allah is not done. Allah is not done. Keep watching.
And I'm going to end it right there because you know what? We are going to continue to watch. And we are going to, as long as this circus is going on, we are going to continue to watch. And Wurld and GranGran and everybody else is going to continue to do the same thing as long as he continued to do what he does. But what he don't realize is that he wouldn't have a problem with everyone or with anyone if he was normal. If he was normal, if you did the average thing that most people do, and that is to know that, you can't go and abuse women, you can't abuse children on video, you can't say negative things about women who birth your nation. You can't go. A man does not kiss and tell. You if you were doing those normal things, and you don't have to do everything the way everybody else does it. It's just there's a norm, and no matter how you do it, there's a norm. There's a, a, a thought form that is a normal thought form, and it does not have chaos behind it. But you're doing things and yours happen to have chaos behind it. And I can tell you that one thing about people who are considered mentally ill, they have chaos behind their activities. When they do things and when they interact with people, you can get into some serious uh, problems interacting with people, certain people, I'll say, with certain illnesses because of their messiness and different things. And you obviously are one of them, so it's not a normal thing. It happens, of course, when there is sickness in the body in some way and in the mind, but it does not happen on an average. So to the average person, it doesn't happen. So this is why we're going to continue to watch, because you don't want to know that you're ill. You don't want to know that you have stepped out of that norm and that it's impossible for you to have been the one who was chosen to come and bring any messages to us because of this chaotic nature. This, I won't say nature. Well, it's the nature of the illness, the nature of the mental challenge that you have that you don't want to work on. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of, first you have to admit it and then work on it. It's a lot of work. So we're going to continue to watch. Thank you. And I'm going to say thank you to everyone for watching and listening up to this point. And do me a favor, like the video, okay? And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And I will see you in the next video. Have a good one. Peace and blessings.